Betty, thank you very much for your time. I can't believe it was nearly 12 months since we were sitting down here having a chat. The year's absolutely flown. Last year it was 40 degrees and hot, and yesterday it was cold and wet. How did the team go with the wet weather?
Oh, my team love wet weather. Brodie's a duck and Will becomes a duck. No, look, they're good in all weather. We don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I think, the girls have a problem with the fizzy hair. That's about it.
Last year you told me that this year it was time for the drivers to put on their big boy pants and it was time for them to step up. Considering where we are, the drivers and the team's championships up for grabs. Are the pants well and truly on?
Oh my God, they're up and they're around the bust area, and they're done up and they're pulled up and they threw the nappies in the bin. It's all gone. And I tell you what, it's funny to hear you say that and then to look at the year we've had. And yeah, they did. They threw they put their big pants on.
Yeah.
Big boy pants.
Handled very well. I thought it might get a little bit colourful there, but no, very well done. How do you feel this weekend? Is it a weekend of nerves considering both championships are on the line, or are you able to actually step back and what'll be will be?
I think it's the step back and what will be will be. You can't change it, and this is a sport where if you don't get over it in 15 minutes, you're in the wrong sport. So, my boys are going to try their hardest. They're going to put in 1,001%. So is my crew. So is everyone else. And, if things work out properly, then, we will be at the top. But even if we come second, to go from where we are now and jump into second in the championship is also a big thing for us. So, it would be great to win both championships, but we also have to look at how we got to second.
Last year you also said that you were looking forward to taking a bit of time off, stepping back, letting other people from your business take over, more of the other roles. Have you been able to step back at all?
Yeah, I have, and it's actually wonderful. I've had a bit of time, and I've gone and bought a whole lot of animals on my farm: camels, donkeys, alpacas, sheep, ducks, and I keep on taking in rescue animals. My husband said one more animal, and he's going to be very angry. But no, I've been able to watch from home. That's my preferred place. It's the same here. You watch it on television. Yeah. It just, everyone watches your nerves. Instead of just your husband seeing you get nervous, the whole of Australia can watch you get nervous. Yeah. So, no, it's good.
Was there a point when you were following through this season and you thought to yourself, you know what, we might be on here?
Yeah, there was. My little brother passed away in July, and it was, I think, 3 or 4 days later, I went to the Sydney round. I just was sitting in the back of the garage, and I wasn't signing any autographs or taking any pictures. And, Brodie got up there and he won, I think it was the second of the Sunday race. And I think that was the moment I just looked at him. And I don't know why, maybe I was just in a mood. Yeah. And I ended up just looking at him and going, you know what, I think we can do this. And I just burst into tears, which is explainable, but, it's just been a year for me where I've had this amazing team do amazing things. And on the other hand, I've had my baby brother pass away, and everything that goes with that. So kind of got to divide yourself in two.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that news. For the Adelaide round, when you guys bring your trucks to all of the different events, do you pack up the truck the same way every time, or is there specific packing that you do for the different rounds, like bringing different spare parts considering there's more concrete walls, or it's just you pack and bring the same thing to all of the different events? It's
the same thing. It's a Tetris. Once we leave, there is not 1 inch of spare space. There are things that sometimes we can't bring, more on the luxury side than anything else, but no, it's the same thing. And you know what, you don't really, spares are something that we just hope we have enough of.
Yeah.
But we don't need.
I've seen you interacting with the fans, and you could easily hide yourself away in the transporter or swan around in the corporate area, but you always seem to be out there involving the fans, talking to the fans, signing autographs, having photos taken. What do you think, and I guess where does it come from that you feel like you need to have all of that fan interaction?
I think it was my father used to say to me, don't ask someone to do something if you haven't done it yourself. And growing up, we used to go to the shopping centres and things like that. And if there was a mess, he would clean it up. But you'd have all these people, John, don't worry about it. We'll clean up. And he'd go, no. And it endeared him to the people that was their jobs. And he loved to speak to them. He said, you'll get the truth from these people. Sometimes management won't give you the truth. He said, but these people, they're honest, hardworking people, and they will always give you the truth. And I've just taken that with me. And these are the people who pay to come in here. They're not on a free ticket. They buy their merchandise, they give you their loyalty, and you need to repay it. You can't just sit back and, go into an air-conditioned trailer because it's, 100 degrees outside. You got to go stand with the fan and say thank you. Even standing in the 100 degrees, it's enough to say thank you. And there's nothing better than seeing a little kid who goes, oh, Betty, da-da. And I'm like, you know what, that's the future of every sport and everything else, is when a little girl says, I want to be just like you. Well, you know what, hard work you will be.
Yeah. I guess while we're on that topic, it wasn't on my list of questions to ask, but women in motorsport, do you think there's enough support and enough opportunities, or do you reckon that there's more to be done?
I'm a shocking person to ask about women in motorsport, because in elite motorsport, like in the V8 Supercars, to be a woman driver, you need to say, I will give up my life. You will give up having children. You will give up. There are a lot of things that the men don't need to give up. They can be fathers and drive. You can't. As a woman, you've got to make that choice. And then the medical side of it, to stop your body going through that process every month, because it makes a difference to the weight, it makes a difference to everything else. But when you step away from the driver's side, women can do anything. Yeah. They can be anything, from engineers and team owners and team principals and mechanics, any position. If they can do it, and they have to know how to do it, because you can't fake in motorsport, then they'll get to the top of whatever they want to do.
Well, that's nice. It'll segue back onto my list of questions. Jobs in motorsport, we had all of the school kids come through yesterday. I'm sure a lot of them were looking around thinking, one day I would like to work in motorsport, whether it is, as a mechanic or in PR or social media, or maybe dreaming big and owning a team. What advice do you have to those people who are coming through thinking, I wouldn't mind a job in motorsport? Sort of how do they get there, and do jobs come up all of that often, or?
You've got to be prepared to start off with nothing, and maybe when you're younger and still at school, if you're above the working ages, which is different in every state, to go up to a team and just say, hi, I would like to, while you're here, do you need a runner, do you need help, do you need this, do you need that? The problem is that now Supercars have put a capped number on people who can actually work. So, you can do an internship, but it's mainly in the factories. It's not really at the racetrack. But I would just tell them, do it the right way. There's no shortcuts. Go and become do your course at TAFE. And then you go to a team, you go to every team, but you start low. Don't just jump straight to V8s. You go to Porsche, you go to whichever series you want to, and you put your resume out to everyone and just say, I'm willing to work, you don't need to pay me, blah, 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 blah. Because that's how you have to start. You have to say, I'm willing to do anything. And then the rest will come.
Yeah. You've got a massive following on Facebook, a lot of groups as well for the teams. I know it's easy for you to put out a post and get a message out to your fans, but if you had a message which you could give to your fans now and just about the season and maybe thank them for the support, what's that message that you would give to them?
I would thank them for grounding me, and that's what comes by interacting with the fans. They kept my feet on the earth, down on the ground, instead of being up in the clouds and thinking, you're holier than thou. I'm happy that, and especially where I live now, I live in a community, it's a very small country town, and they do Robinson in New South Wales, and you go into the butcher and he treats you exactly the same as everyone else, and there's a couch there and you sit on the couch and you wait for the next person to come in, you have a chat, and that's what the fans do. They have a chat with me, they keep me grounded. I just want to thank them for doing that, because it's very easy in this sport to think you're better than everyone else.
Yeah. Well, it's just me and you sitting here. I'm not going to tell any of the other teams this, but I really hope that you win after this week, and I'm sure that there'll be a big party to follow. I feel like I could just sit down and talk to you for hours. You're so easy to talk to. Love chatting to you every year, and just wish you all the best for the race.
Oh, thank you very much, and I enjoyed talking to you. So I shall see you next year.
Thanks, Betty.